this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
3, 2, 1, ready, go!
So since E3 just ended and everybody's still talking about it, there really isn't much news beyond E3. But really where the focus is now is these tiny little controversies, these weird little things that people just can't seem to let go. Some things are weird conspiracy theories, and some things are just straightforward information that is very different from what was presented to us. So today I'd like to touch on all of those things and what we know now as of this moment about each one of them. So this is the top 5 biggest controversies from E3. Our first one is pretty straightforward. Let's talk about the Hololens. Hololens, I think, is something that really surprised us, and they let a decent number of people wear those in very, very contained demos throughout the week. But our first time seeing it was at the press conference, and it was just, it seemed unreal. You know, we watched a Minecraft world like erupt from out of a table, and a dude like pushed it around and pulled it and watched his friend like walk around in that world. He was able to just put his face into the rock and see inside of it, you know, just like really engaging stuff. Now, on a positive note, because again, a lot of people did get to wear this, whether it was in a little Halo thing or in the Minecraft demo, the general consensus has been, wow, this looks beautiful. Like, lots of people really expected there to be kind of weird pixelated goodness going on, but overall, every single person I've talked to has said, no, it looks gorgeous. Again, contained demo, very contained experiences that they were able to make very beautiful, but still impressive. So where exactly is the controversy here? The controversy actually lies in the field of view, because in the press conference, they made it look like, oh my goodness, you put the HoloLens on and suddenly you're in a world of AR, right? Just you look around and no matter where you look, you just see AR elements all over the place, and it's, you know, just incredible. But really the experience you wind up having is you have a box, you have a field of view that is the HoloLens. But in your peripheral vision, there's nothing there, which is fine, but in the press conference, they did make it seem as though you just see this vast world. The immersion that was implied isn't actually there, because you see where the AR world, where that HoloLens world ends. You can see the border. And Jesse was saying there's a really long calibration process, which probably means that some people had a smaller field of view, some people had a wider one. But overall, every single person was experiencing the same thing, where there was a box. There was a box of HoloLens, and then from kind of here on out, you know, it was just your normal vision. I really don't think this is a problem, because we don't even know how we would use this yet. I mean, it's great that they let so many people wear it, because I think that will get the juices flowing, you know? It'll make people start to think about how it could be used. But we're not at that place yet. We're at the place where we want proof of concept. So for people to walk away and say, wow, that has a lot of potential, I think that was more the goal than anything. So if the biggest controversy that came out of VR/AR experiences at E3 is, well, the HoloLens doesn't have a big enough field of view, that's something that can be fixed. Naughty Dog went up on stage to play Uncharted 4 for all of us, a live demo, if you will, and people were very excited. The game looked gorgeous, but there was a little hiccup. There was a point in the demo where the cutscene ended, and then, you know, it was time for Nathan to walk through the beautiful city that had been created for this demo, and he wasn't moving. And the whole audience went, oh man, well, at least that's proof that this is a live demo. There was a technical issue, right? So they had to like restart the whole thing, and then it all worked totally fine. Nathan went off and did his thing. And so you might say, where's the controversy there? So get ready for just the weirdest conspiracy theories that happened immediately after that. So there were 2 theories. One of them was based on actual maybe for reals information, and the other one was just based in what would be the weirdest reason for this to happen. Let's go with the super weird one first, because why not? Basically, there was a theory going around that that was all part of a pre-recorded demo. That in order to make it seem like it was live gameplay, and also to give you a second to really just look at the world, they actually concocted that situation. So even though they said that it was live gameplay, it wasn't, but having it stall would make it look like it was, and then it would give you an opportunity to just stare at how beautiful the game is, etc., etc., etc. So basically, the theory was the whole thing was pre-recorded, there was a halt to make it look like it wasn't, but it actually was. Which, you know, if it turned out that that was the case, I would be very impressed. I would be so impressed by that, with them being like, okay, we still want it to look gorge, but we need some way to convince people that it was actual gameplay. What do we do? The second theory, which is far more believable, is that the very first section, where Nathan stopped moving, that was actual gameplay, live gameplay, and then the second time was a video. That was their backup system, that like, oops, nothing's working, switch to the video, right? And that's why, in the video, all of the driving was so perfect. That's where people get hung up. They're like, but the way that they played through that demo was perfect. They didn't run into any walls. Like, what is that? So that was the second theory that made a little bit more sense. But the reason that Naughty Dog gave is way more straightforward, once again. So basically, what Naughty Dog said is that they had two PS4s. The first one, they were rustling around trying to find the DualShock 4 that was actually going to be connected to the one that was running, but none of them were working, so Nathan just stood there. So then, they restarted, but with the other system, and then it worked fine from there. That's what Naughty Dog has said. Now, do I want to believe that the whole thing was actually just a video? Of course I do. Of course I do. That would just be so, that would be like next level weirdness of game companies being like, they know that a lot of times we say it's live gameplay, but it's not, so we gotta make it seem like it is, but what do we do? I want that to be true so badly. I get the feeling that what Naughty Dog has said is the truth, but the second theory, the like less out there theory, but not entirely what Naughty Dog said theory, I could also see that one. So who knows? Either way, the game looked gorge, so that's cool. Let's talk about that Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, yo, what? Taking the crown for weirdest moment of all of the press conferences, I think, was when they announced the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter at the Sony press conference. Now you might be saying, but Dodger, I don't understand. If they weren't up there during Sony's press conference, like, wouldn't Sony be paying for the game? I don't understand. Yeah, you and the rest of the world. Originally, it was implied that all of the money made in the Kickstarter was what was going to fund the game. That really, they were completely reliant on us to pay for it, and their goal was $2 million with stretch goals of $4 million. Keep in mind, the first Shenmue game was like, they spent so much money on that game for the time, $45 million. Actually, originally the rumor was like 70 million or something like that, and they were like, whoa, 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 we didn't go that nuts. So understandably, to a Shenmue fan, 4 million does not sound like enough to make a Shenmue game, and I totally agree. So since the Kickstarter began, they have changed some things in the FAQ, which is interesting. The implication is no longer there that we are the only ones funding this game. Instead, they've now said, all right, well, no, obviously we can't make a Shenmue game for $2 million. We do have other people who are investing, but due to contractual obligations, we can't say who. So now the implication is, all right, Kickstarter is once again being used for marketing. It's being used as, look, people do want this game, and then whoever was gonna fund it will say, awesome, let's make it. But where it gets sketchball for me is that they're saying we already have them. We already have the investors. We can't say who they are because we've already signed contracts. So we did have the money. So why do you need our money? It's very weird, and honestly, none of us have all of the information. Currently, they are at 3.5 million, so, you know, they blew it out of the water. It worked. Absolutely, going up on stage during Sony's press conference at E3 worked at getting money. Like, that's a no-brainer. But I do feel, in my heart, I feel that we were deceived a little bit. They wanted us to believe something untrue, whether it was by omission of information or not. And you might say, Dodger, who cares? In the end, it's Kickstarter, and so everybody's gonna get stuff out of it. That's if they make the game, though. That's if they make the game. If. Microsoft announced backwards compatibility for the Xbox One at their press conference, which shocked everybody, including Sony, I'm sure. There is a backwards compatibility beta that you can be part of, but there is like a set list of games. It's got some good ones on there. They're pulling right now from the games that people played the most, and also doing some surveys and asking what other games we would want. But right now, you know, there's just a set list. But the way that it works is you take your Xbox 360 disc, you put it into your Xbox One, and then it downloads the game. You still have to leave the disc in there, but it has to, I don't think calibrate is the right word. It has to, you know, soak up all the data bits and then you can play the game, alright? Science. That seems like a pretty positive thing. I mean, wherein lies the controversy, Duger? I'll tell you, and it is kind of a small thing. So the whole thing will be up and running by fall of this year, which is very soon, so that's good. But the rumor is that it will take a few years for them to really get it right, for the whole thing to swap over, which means that if they wanted backwards compatibility to be a pull for people to buy an Xbox One, it might take a while. Right now, I guess the frame rate is not very good in the beta, which sucks. But again, they're working on it, and I mean, Sony was like, well, they're probably just doing it with games that nobody wants to play, so, I mean, like, it's fine, like, we're not worried, but they're obviously very worried. Alright. The camera's in a weird spot now. It's because it keeps shutting off for some reason, so I had to move it and do some stuff. Hopefully we're good. The point that I was working my way toward is that Sony has sunk so much money into PlayStation Now. Like, they are pooping themselves. They're pooping themselves right now because that has not taken off. Really, nobody has any positive feelings about PlayStation Now, which has been kind of scary for them. And I think, you know, everybody sort of expected them to say something about it or do something about it at their press conference, and they didn't, because what could they say? So from my perspective, awesome. Super, super awesome that they're gonna have backwards compatibility, even if it takes a while for it to roll over and really, like, happen and work for us. I think that that's gonna do really well for the Xbox One, so good call, guys. And as our final bit of news, oh my gosh. So the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Ugh, so excited. I'm so excited and also concerned. There has been some controversy here as well. Why, Dodger? How on earth, after years of asking for a Final Fantasy VII Remake and we're finally getting it, what sort of controversy could there possibly be? Well, they're not just updating the graphics. They're also changing/adding story and changing the battle system. Now look, for me, personally, as a super ffVII fan, I can deal with a different battle system, okay? If they want to make it button mashy and dumb and weird, like, fine. I didn't play that game for the fighting. I didn't. I played it for the awesome characters and for the story that blew child Dodger's mind. So therein lies my new concerns, right? Of, you changing the story? Yeah? Are you, that's fine, sure, okay, that's cool. Now, here's what I'm hoping. Here's what I'm just hoping and praying that this actually means, is that the plot was good. The plot was really good in Final Fantasy VII, but there were plenty of plot holes as well. Lots of them. So, if they planned on taking information that they've developed in the preludes, in the movies, in the other games, all of it, to really flesh out the world and make it a bit more cohesive, I think that would be fantastic. When we delved into backstory, we really just incorporated everything that we've developed over the years. Totally into that. If they decide to make it so that a very specific character can be saved, I don't know about that. I don't think I can do that. I can't do it. I wouldn't want that changed. Like, that's such a huge thing. They can't change that. They can't change it. Oh my gosh, I would lose it. So, I'm sure you can tell which of these controversies that we've discussed today I feel the strongest about. But we'll just have to find out. They are going to give us more information in winter. So we'll probably see some gameplay. They might show us more of what fighting style they're going for. I'm sure it's going to be more along the lines of 15. And I totally understand this concept of, why would we take the time to finally, after all of these years, remake this game if we didn't plan on changing some stuff that we felt needed to be changed, if we didn't want to give you a different experience? I totally get that. I'm just very protective. I'm just so protective of it. And if it turns into just nonsense, if it turns into 13, I'll lose it. I'll flip over this camera. I'll flip this camera over and deal with the consequences of buying a new lens. That's how many feelings I will have. But anyway, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, or if you would like to put in your own conspiracy theory, I would love that, and you can do that in the comment section below. If you would like to have coffee with me, it will be coming back in July. Coffee time, that is, not coffee in general, because coffee in general has existed for quite a long time. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Thank you for putting up with my channel being a little bit iffy in terms of content over E3. There was a lot going on. But I will see you guys again. Well, actually, I will be going on a romantic vacation next weekend, so you won't see me next Sunday, actually, but we probably will still do a video. It'll just happen on a different day, so keep your eye out for that, and otherwise, see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye!